with Frank Boal.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sunday Sound Off, where you get a chance to be part of the conversation on everything sports. Tweet us your questions and comments using the hashtag Sunday Sound Off. Let's introduce tonight's panel. Hi, Serena. Oh, geez, you lost weight. Oh, I'm sorry. That's TJ over there. Yeah, how you doing there, TJ? TJ Carpenter from Sports Radio 810. How are you?
I'm doing well. I figured if I was going to be sitting in Serena's seat, I may as well look as close to being like Serena as possible.
There you are.
May as well look the part.
All right. Cody Tapp, also Sports Radio 810 WHB. Cody, how are you?
I'm doing great, Frank. You called this the Millennial Panel, and yet I don't see any Pokemon Go questions on the rundown. A little disappointed.
Yeah, well, I can imagine. Rustin Dodd, beat writer for the Kansas City Star for the Kansas City Royals. Rustin, saw you at the White House. That was a very interesting little trip there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was great. And I think I am the second oldest person on this show, which is like the first time in television history that I've ever been the second oldest person in a room. So this is great.
Yeah, and here's the deal. I could add all three of your ages up, and you still wouldn't be as old as me. Okay, gentlemen, here's our hot topics of the evening. Would you consider trading your Dono Ventura? Very intriguing question. Is Chris Sale worth the baggage after shredding the White Sox? And number three, which teams should the Big 12 invite to join the conference? But first, of course, we're going to start with our hot topic question of the week. Would you sell Davis, Volquez, Morales, 2, 3 of them, or would you sit tight? TJ.
Well, what I do, I would sell off pretty much everybody except for Salvador Perez. I would do as much as I could to sign Eric Hosmer to a long-term contract. And then, of course, you hold on to Alex Gordon because I don't think anybody will want to take on his money at this point. So I think you can build around that kind of core for the future and then make another run. Problem is right now that the Royals I don't feel like that they would do that. And one of the worst things that you can do in this situation is be paralyzed. If you're paralyzed by inactivity at this point, I think that's the worst thing that can happen, because at that point you're not building for the future and you're not trying to make a run for this year, and fans end up just being frustrated even though they're watching those players they love so much.
Cody, who would you trade or not trade?
I think the easiest choice right now, especially Frank, because you mentioned that the Rangers are in town, Edinson Volquez and Kendrys Morales are a fit for both of those. And if you're looking at the Rangers system that has guys like Jurickson Profar and Gallo and other minor league pitching prospects, moving those two guys makes sense. I would consider even moving Wade Davis, but it would only come if you felt good about the prospects that were being offered to you. I understand why the Royals are asking a high price, because he has high demand. Aroldis Chapman, whose deal is supposedly done or close to getting done with the Yankees, he's being moved for one upper-end prospect close to like what Raul Mondesi Jr. is. If you have Wade Davis, who has been by far and away the best closer in baseball over the last 3 years, and has an extra year of control, I'd be careful on selling him, but unless you got the right price.
Yeah, and the Yankees also, they say once they get the Chapman deal done, they're going to move on to Andrew Miller, and they're actually right behind the Royals in the wild card race. So they've already sort of given up, the ghost here. So we'll have to see what happens. Rustin, what would you do at this point?
Yeah, I think the Royals have been pretty clear, both publicly and non-publicly, that they don't want to trade anybody that's going to be central to them winning in 2017. They see themselves having a championship window of this year. Obviously didn't work out with the injuries and the starting rotation problems, but they also see themselves having a chance to make another run at it next year. You've got Eric Hosmer, Mike Moustakas, Lorenzo Cain all signed through next year. Obviously, there's going to be some tough decisions if things don't work out next year, but I think it's more likely that they ride with those guys. Now, when you look at Volquez, Morales, where they are in the standings right now, I think they should be listening, obviously, on those guys. Wade Davis is a different kind of question, because you have Kelvin Herrera, you have a lot of money tied up in the bullpen. It's a seller's market, so you got to listen. But you'd have to be blown away to deal either Herrera or Davis or anybody in that bullpen.
Let me ask you one other thing, Rustin. Do you think the Royals are a little afraid maybe to start trading guys away, signal their fan base that we've given up on this season? Do you think they worry about that?
I think that's part of it, but I think they see themselves as if they're going to trade some of those guys away, not necessarily the Volquezes and the Moraleses, but any piece of their core, even if you're getting great return on it, you're trying to build a team that can win a championship, and I think they feel like this core, with the right pitching staff and with the right guys around it, with the right health, is a team that can win a championship.
All right, gentlemen, we're going to head off to Hot Topics next. We're going to talk about your Dono Ventura, a very intriguing thing. Would you trade the guy? You're watching Sunday Sound Off.